Welcome back to Exciting Europe.
Barcelona. It is easily one of the most vibrant, beautiful, and top-visited cities in all of Europe. But let's be completely honest. Because it has so much to offer, it can also be incredibly overwhelming for a first-time visitor. That is exactly why we are here. In this guide, we're going to break down the layout of the city, show you how it works, and help you organize your dream trip so you can navigate it like a pro. Now, before we dive into the logistics, a quick and very important piece of advice for you. We have more than 20 dedicated videos sitting right now in our Barcelona playlist. We've done the heavy lifting for you. We've built in-depth, step-by-step tours of the city's most important museums, hidden galleries, historic neighborhoods, and architectural masterpieces. Seriously, invest a bit of your time in watching those videos before you pack your bags. Barcelona is a city where things sell out weeks in advance, and the last thing you want is to get home, look back, and realize you missed an incredible hidden house or a world-class museum that you really would have loved to visit. Watch the playlist, get a feel for the city, and you won't feel overwhelmed for a single second when you land. But first, let's lay down the ultimate foundation. Let's understand how this city actually works.
First things first, let's talk about getting into the city. Barcelona has one main airport, El Prat. It's located just about 15 kilometers outside the city center, and it operates with two completely separate terminals, Terminal 1 and Terminal 2. Knowing which terminal you are flying into or out of is crucial because they handle completely different types of airlines. Terminal 1, T1, is the massive, ultra-modern terminal. It handles all the legacy carriers, major network airlines, and long-haul international flights. Terminal 2, T2, on the other hand, is the older hub, and it is primarily used by regional and low-cost carriers like Ryanair and EasyJet. Now, the great news for first-time travelers is that both terminals are perfectly and conveniently connected to the Barcelona city center. You have excellent options like the Aerobus Express bus or the Metro line L9 Sud, running directly from both T1 and T2. But if you land at Terminal 2, you get an extra, incredibly convenient bonus, a direct link to the Rodalies suburban train system. You can hop right on the R2 Nord train line, and in just about 20 minutes, it takes you straight to Sants Estació, the main central train station right in the heart of Barcelona. If you land at T1 and want to take the train, don't panic. There is a free 24-hour green shuttle bus that runs between the two terminals constantly. There are specific ticket hacks, pricing zones, and transit traps to avoid depending on which option you choose. To get the absolute full breakdown, step-by-step directions, and visuals on exactly how to navigate the arrivals halls, make sure to watch our dedicated video, Barcelona El Prat Airport Explained. It will take any remaining stress completely out of your arrival day.
Once you're in the city, getting around is an absolute breeze. Barcelona has an amazing, world-class public transportation system that connects every single corner of the city seamlessly. We actually have a completely separate, dedicated video that breaks down all the pricing zones and travel cards. But right now, let's talk about the best strategy for your very first visit. When you walk into any metro station, you'll see the ticket machines. For most first-timers, we highly recommend buying the Hola Barcelona travel card. Why? Because it completely removes the guesswork. It covers your round-trip metro ticket to and from the airport, and it gives you absolutely unlimited rides on the entire public transit network for 48, 72, 96, or 120 hours, depending on the length of your stay. Barcelona features 12 metro lines that slice right through the city, 6 modern tram lines servicing the outer districts, and an incredibly dense, efficient network of buses filling in all the gaps in between major tourist sites and transportation hubs. Now, here is a massive pro tip to save you time at the ticket machines. Before you even arrive, download the official TMB app on your phone. Through the app, you can purchase your timed tickets and all of your unlimited passes digitally. When you get to the station, you don't need to fiddle with paper tickets. You just use your phone to scan right through the gates. It's fast, it's modern, and it keeps you moving.
Now that you've made it from the airport and checked into your hotel, let's get you oriented. To understand Barcelona, you only need to know one central landmark: Plaça de Catalunya. Think of this massive square as the absolute heart of the city. Everything you want to see is either directly north, south, or a quick metro ride east or west of this exact point. Let's break it down into the main zones you'll be exploring. First, if you stand in Plaça de Catalunya and look straight down, you are looking south into Ciutat Vella, which is the old city. Cutting right through the middle of it is the famous boulevard La Rambla. To the left of La Rambla, you have the Gothic Quarter and El Born. This is the medieval heart of Barcelona. It's a stunning maze of narrow stone alleys, hidden plazas, and great little tapas spots. In this very heart, which was once cramped tightly inside ancient defensive walls, you are going to find some of the city's most spectacular treasures. Right in the center sits the majestic Barcelona Cathedral, a magnificent 14th century Gothic masterpiece, famous for its grand facade and a peaceful cloister that is home to 13 live white geese. Just a short walk away is the Palau de la Música Catalana, an absolute explosion of color and stained glass designed by Luis Domènech i Montaner that stands as one of the most beautiful modernist concert halls in the world. Deep inside the medieval alleys, you will discover the Picasso Museum, which is housed across 5 interconnected stone palaces and holds an extensive collection tracking Pablo Picasso's crucial formative youth. If you wander back toward the main boulevard, you will stumble into Plaça Real, a vibrant, palm-lined 19th century square where you can spot the very first public works designed by Antoni Gaudí, which are his iconic 6-branched bronze street lamps topped with winged helmets. Right next to this area is the world-famous La Boqueria Market, a bustling sensory overload packed with fresh fruits, local cheeses, and lively tapas counters. And just a few steps from the market stalls sits Palau Güell, a dark and majestic early mansion where Gaudí designed a spectacular soaring dome ceiling that perfectly mimics a starry night sky. Because all of these historic sites are packed so closely together, you can easily walk from one to the next in a single afternoon. However, because they are tucked away in such a tight labyrinth of alleys, they can be tough to locate on your own. We have filmed deep dive, step-by-step walking tours for every single one of these landmarks in our Barcelona playlist, so you can navigate them like a local and ensure you don't miss a single hidden detail.
Now, if you turn around and look north of the square, the entire landscape changes instantly. Welcome to l'Eixample. Unlike the chaotic old alleys down south, Eixample is a massive, elegant 19th century grid system with wide avenues and octagonal street corners. This is the upscale side of town. It's famous for luxury shopping along Passeig de Gràcia, and most importantly, this is where Gaudí's heavy hitters live. These architectural marvels are all within a short 10 minutes walking distance of each other, starting with the famous Block of Discord and continuing just up the street to Casa Milà. Right on the main avenue, you can visit Casa Amatller, a striking building designed by Josep Puig i Cadafalch that features a beautiful, stepped neo-Gothic facade inspired by traditional Dutch houses. Directly next door stands Casa Batlló, Gaudí's legendary masterpiece, defined by its undulating, colorful mosaic exterior and a roof that curves dramatically like the spine of a dragon. Just a few blocks up the same street sits Casa Milà, widely known as La Pedrera, which translates to the stone quarry because of its rolling, wave-like stone facade and its surreal, twisted chimney stacks guarding the rooftop. From this area, you can easily catch the metro to visit one more spectacular residence, Casa Vicens, which was the very first house Gaudí ever built and showcases a brilliant mix of colorful ceramic tiles and exotic Moorish design influences. Taking the metro just a bit further brings you directly to the crown jewel of Barcelona, the Basílica de la Sagrada Familia, an astonishingly grand temple where nature meets architecture through towering organic stone columns that branch out like giant trees beneath a glowing forest canopy of stained glass. Finally, just a short 10-minute stroll down a beautiful pedestrian avenue from the Sagrada Familia, you will find the Recinte Modernista de Sant Pau, a breathtaking former hospital complex designed by Lluís Domènech i Montaner that stands proudly as the largest Art Nouveau site in the entire world. And this central hub is really the heart of everything from a tourist perspective. However, there are three major parts of the city that we would absolutely not recommend trying to reach on foot from Plaça de Catalunya. First, heading up into the hills to the north, you have Parc Güell, a whimsical, colorful garden complex where Gaudí turned nature into architecture, featuring famous mosaic serpent benches, fairy tale-like porters' lodges, and spectacular panoramic views over the entire city. Then, moving over to the west, you will hit the massive Montjuïc Mountain, a sprawling cultural park that requires an entire day to properly explore. Your journey here starts at Plaça d'Espanya, right where the Arena shopping center sits inside a beautifully repurposed historic bullring. Just past the square, you will find the famous Montjuïc Magic Fountain, which treats spectators to a dazzling evening choreography of water, light, and music. Always check the schedule ahead of time, as its shows can be restricted during local water-saving periods. Rising grandly behind the fountains is the Museu Nacional d'Art de Catalunya, housed inside the majestic National Palace and holding the world's finest collection of Romanesque church frescoes alongside centuries of local Catalan art. As you head deeper up the mountain, you will pass the historic Lluís Companys Olympic Stadium, which originally opened in 1929 for the International Exposition and was later beautifully renovated to host the iconic 1992 Summer Olympic Games. Finally, to reach the very crest of the hill, you can hop on the famous Montjuïc cable car, which glides smoothly over the treetops to drop you off right at the Montjuïc Castle, a 17th century military fortress that offers stunning, unbroken views across the Barcelona harbor and the sea. And the third part of the city that you should not try to reach on foot from the main square is the sprawling maritime district, which includes the beach and the historic neighborhood of Barceloneta. Barceloneta is the city's old fisherman's quarter, a lively triangular wedge of land that juts straight out into the sea. It is completely defined by its narrow, parallel streets lined with traditional apartment blocks where locals still hang their laundry out over the balconies, and its ground floors are packed with bustling, authentic tapas bars, serving some of the freshest seafood and local bombas in town. Right alongside this neighborhood stretches the famous Barceloneta Beach, a vibrant, sun-drenched golden coastline that completely transformed the city for the 1992 Olympics. It is lined with a bustling palm tree-shaded boardwalk, lively outdoor restaurants, and energetic street performers, making it the ultimate spot to soak in the Mediterranean lifestyle. While it is a fantastic place to walk, watch the sunset, and feel the sea breeze, it is a long trek from the center of town, so we highly recommend saving your feet and taking the Metro Line 4 straight to the Barceloneta station instead.
So let's briefly review how to structure your time. If you only have one single day to visit Barcelona, which we would definitely not recommend because you will barely scratch the surface, you need a rock-solid game plan. Start your morning as early as possible by heading straight to the Sagrada Familia to catch the spectacular early light streaming through the stained glass windows. From there, hop right onto the metro and head over to Passeig de Gràcia to marvel at the famous Block of Discord from the street. Once you've taken in those incredible facades, stroll down into the historic Gothic quarter to wander the medieval alleys and visit the brilliant Picasso Museum. To feel a completely different vibe for your evening, take the metro down to the waterfront and spend your remaining hours strolling along the beautiful beaches of Barceloneta.
To wrap up this ultimate masterclass, we have to talk about the absolute essentials. Understanding the strategy of the layout is a massive advantage. But to completely bulletproof your vacation, it is crucial to know these top things about Barcelona before you step off the plane. Spain uses the euro. While cards and phone payments are accepted almost everywhere, it is always smart to keep a tiny bit of cash on you for small market stalls. You won't need to bring any special power adapters if you are traveling from within Europe, as Barcelona uses the standard European Type C and F electricity plugs with a 230-volt output. This one catches every first-timer off guard. You must adjust your watch for lunch and dinner times. Locals typically eat lunch between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m., and dinner kitchens rarely open before 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. If you try to head out for a nice meal at 7 p.m., you will either find locked doors or end up in an overpriced tourist trap. To find the best, most authentic spots, never rely on generic online lists. Always ask your host or hotel receptionist to recommend a local, family-run restaurant in the neighborhood where they love to eat themselves. There is a specific city tax that is almost never included in the upfront price of your hotel or holiday apartment online. You will need to pay this directly to the property when you check in. Because of recent increases to combat over-tourism, it sits at around 7 to 12 euros per person per night, depending on the star rating of your accommodation. To simplify, a family of 4 staying 5 nights in a 4-star hotel will pay around 220 euros extra at check-in. Make sure you factor this into your travel budget ahead of time. Barcelona's premier monuments have strict hourly capacity limits and sell out weeks ahead of time, meaning you cannot simply show up and buy tickets at the door. And as you plan your days, remember that there is so much more to this city than only Gaudí. Barcelona is home to an incredible 8 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and several of them were built by other brilliant modernist architects, like the stunning Sant Pau Hospital Complex. We actually have detailed videos on 7 of them. Let's clear up a major myth. The famous historic cathedral located right in the middle of the Gothic quarter is the Cathedral of the Holy Cross and Saint Eulalia. It is absolutely not the Sagrada Familia, which sits much further north in the Example district. When it comes to smooth transit back to the airport at the end of your trip, taking the express Aerobús from Plaça de Catalunya is often vastly more convenient and less exhausting than hauling heavy luggage up and down the stairs of the metro stations. There is one foundational concept you must understand before you set foot in the city. Barcelona is not just a Spanish city, it is the proud, historic capital of Catalonia. Catalonia is an autonomous region in the northeast of Spain with its own distinct history, deeply rooted cultural identity, and its own official language, Catalan. When you wander the streets, you will quickly notice that all the public signs, metro announcements, and restaurant menus are written in Catalan first, Spanish second, and English third. While everyone speaks fluent Spanish, and you will have absolutely no problem using it, Hearing the locals speak Catalan to one another is a constant reminder of how unique this region is. You will also see the Estelada, the Catalan independence flag with its blue triangle and white star, hanging proudly from hundreds of apartment balconies across the city. Barcelona is an incredibly safe city when it comes to violent crime, but it is universally known as one of the sneak thief capitals of Europe. These are not dangerous criminals, they are masters of distraction, operating in heavy tourist zones like the Gothic Quarter metro stops, the platforms of Plaça de Catalunya, and right on the sand at Barceloneta Beach. The key to staying safe is simple. Never put your wallet or phone in your back pocket. Never leave your phone sitting loose on an outdoor cafe table, and always wear your backpack on your front when boarding the metro. If someone approaches you with a map asking for directions or pretends to accidentally spill something on your jacket, immediately clutch your bags close. It is almost always a coordinated distraction technique. Unlike in North America, tipping in Barcelona is completely optional and is seen as a reward for truly exceptional service, rather than a mandatory obligation. Hospitality workers are paid full standard wages, so you will never be chased down the street for leaving a clean bill. In casual cafes, tapas bars, or taxis, locals simply round up to the nearest euro or leave a bit of loose change. Even in upscale, sit-down restaurants, a tip of 5% to 10% is considered incredibly generous. Just check your bill carefully first. If you see the words servicio incluido, it means the service charge is already factored into the total and you do not need to leave another cent. From a health and safety standpoint, Barcelona's tap water is tightly regulated, adheres to strict European Union standards, and is 100% safe to drink. However, because a lot of the city's water supply comes from mineral-heavy rivers and goes through partial seawater desalination, it has a notoriously heavy, metallic, and chlorinated taste. While it won't make you sick, most locals absolutely refuse to drink it straight from the tap because of the flavor, opting for filtered jugs or bottled water instead. When you are dining out at a restaurant, it is culturally normal to purchase bottled mineral water for the table rather than asking for free tap water. Keep these golden rules in mind, and you are guaranteed to have a flawless, stress-free Barcelona experience.
There you have it, the ultimate foundation for understanding, navigating, and absolutely conquering Barcelona on your very first visit. From the layout of the historic quarters to the transit hacks and the local cultural rules, you are now officially armed with the insider knowledge to avoid the tourist traps and travel like an absolute pro. But remember, this masterclass is really just the beginning of your journey. As we mentioned earlier, we have more than 20 deep dive, step-by-step videos waiting for you in our dedicated Barcelona playlist. We've laid out the walking routes, unlocked the secrets of the major museums, and shown you exactly what to expect inside those breathtaking Gaudí houses. Do not risk coming home with travel regrets, wishing you had seen that hidden gallery or booked that ticket earlier. Invest a little bit of your time right now, binge watch that playlist, and give yourself the stress-free, unforgettable Catalan vacation that you actually deserve. Drop any questions you have in the comments below, and we will see you on the streets of Catalunya. Safe travels, and bye for now.